Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. I have a viewer topic request and it kind of hit home with me. So I'd like to go over this and it kind of helps us understand our situation. This person's kind of confused. At first, they thought that their person was a narcissist. And because of the name, I don't want to necessarily assume it's a she, but I'm going to say she. So I apologize if it's different. But she's confused. The narc discarded this person a year and a half ago and has been with a current girlfriend. And you'll see why I say narc in the future as you listen to this video. Because like I said, it really does hit home. You guys know I've been with two different narcissists. And so the narcissist or possible narcissist, I can't, I'm not able to give them an exact diagnosis, but they do have narcissistic traits. So this person seems happy, actually seems to be in love with the new supply. And the question went on is, does a love bombing really last this long? It can last years, it can last decades, but it's all the intent that is behind it. Narcissists love to use love bombing. They're caught up in the moment. They're getting the supply they need, and they can continue it for a very long time. There's dynamics where sometimes they get love bombed back, and so they want extra stuff too. They like how it feels, just like we like how it feels. But then the narcissist starts to get bored or settled into things, or something goes wrong in life. This person who reached out to me had trust issues, and that made them, we're just going to call him a narcissist for ease of talking. The narcissist was uncomfortable with her trust issues. He didn't want to have to take the time to consider what her past was or why she has the trust issues. If there were, I don't know if there's trust issues within their relationship. I have a friend who got married, and I hadn't seen her in years. We live states away, and she's like, look, just to make sure that my husband's comfortable, can I just take a selfie with you? And so she sent him a couple different selfies, like when her and I went out to dinner or when she came to my house, just to like proactively comfort him, because it is odd to all of a sudden, oh, your friend from how long ago? So it was just to comfort him. So it would have been nice if in this situation that the viewer reached out to is to where he could understand what she's going through. We got to be careful too that we're not over needy, that we bring our baggage into the relationship. It's not fair to the new person to have them suffer through things that they didn't do. We have to judge them on who they are. So there's got to be a good balance, and that's hard. So viewer, as you're moving on, watch for the red flags. It's hard to rebuild trust, but we also have to be fair to the new person. So I don't know if there was any issues within your relationship with him that were causing that. But he could have been more sensitive to what you were going through as well. And since he didn't want to deal with it, he discarded you. Now, this one goes on even more, because I said, I really don't know your situation, so I can't really necessarily say if this person is a narcissist or not. So I'll just say viewer, because I'm assuming it's a girl and I don't want to do that. So the viewer said that he's 48 and the viewer is 38. So there's a 10-year age difference. Now, a lot of times the narcissist will go for somebody younger, often much younger. And both my narcissists, one was 10 years young, picked somebody 10 years younger. The other one picked, I believe it was 14 years younger. They feel that, they can kind of train us a little bit easier, mold us. We'll be a little bit more naive. I've gone through in my analytics, the age group of the people that are watching my videos. I have just under 300 videos out so far. The age group is from 30 on up, 30 to 60, but the majority is 30 to 50 years old. And that's when we're starting to catch on. So the younger you are, the easier it is. 45 and 50 is probably the most of my viewers, because we're catching on. We've done these relationships. We tried to make it work. We've gone through the cycle, and both of mine picked somebody quite a bit younger. And So the story of the one that left was abandoned by his father and also his family when he was just 11 years old. So this guy now lived, well, first he lived with the viewer and she took care of him. I'm sorry, I do remember it as a she, I believe. I just want to make sure, trying to be politically correct. So catered to him, treated him like my husband while they were together. And so when the love bombing ended, that's when he decided to move out and purchase his home. And he future faked, was very convincing that, you know, this is for their future. And narcissists love to future fake. Mine did that with me, had me hold on 2 extra years, and then instantly ghosted me for months upon months. I'm glad you at least had some closure that, you know, I hope he did it in somewhat of a kind way, at least an acknowledgement kind of way. But now this person is extremely wealthy, has a Tesla, you know, $500,000 home. But he didn't have that when he was with the first partner. And within just a short amount of time was able to become very successful. So the viewer supported this person. A lot of times those narcissists love to come in for a free place to stay or a cheap place or an easy place, also to have, you know, sex or food made for them. So, you know, we're trying to do our part. We're trying to whatever your role is in the home, whether you're taking care of the lawn or making dinner or doing the laundry or taking care of kids, we're trying to do our part. And the narcissist starts taking advantage of that. So future faking about the future, a lot of this was probably to get the viewer involved within the interior design of the home. So he's still using the viewer, you know, confusing the viewer with the love bombing. And when they were living together, the viewer was ignored a lot. And pay attention to those red flags. You know, if you ask to sit with them, do they sit with you? And if not, you know, do they mind when you're around them? So getting ignored can be hurtful. It can be lonely. I was very lonely in my relationships with my narcissist. And what makes it even worse is the viewer had said that he was, you know, choosing to talk to the friends on the phone for hours late in the evening. And, you know, the viewer thought it should have been their time together, you know, since the viewer had worked all day. So the narcissist was an entrepreneur. He was home all day. But the viewer was the one cooking and cleaning, being supportive, because the entrepreneur was probably doing some of their work as well. The viewer was very loving, but it was also trust issues from past relationships. And he had said that that's the reason why he didn't want to be with this person anymore. So depending on how you handled, speaking to the viewer right now, how you handled it, and how they interacted with you. You know, if it was a loving relationship, they should have listened to your words. They should have tried to accommodate or make it easier or give you some comfort or reassurance. But we got to be careful too, that when we are with somebody, that we don't bring our baggage in. And we can acknowledge certain things, we can ask for certain things, and we can agree to things. As far as the narcissistic traits that this person has, you know, going for someone younger that's not always narcissistic, but a lot of times it's like an ego stroke to them. And also living at your place, you know, and then becoming so successful afterwards. Whether they, I don't know, they help pay rent, were they just banking their money away so they could put that big of a down payment down? And the way that they, you know, forget about couples time, that they'd rather talk to their buddies, and they can do that for hours. You know, we have to be careful too when we're going into relationships, that we don't get angry if we don't do the necessary steps for us to bring forward a healthy relationship. You know, it's hard in relationships. Like, we get worried we're going to say things the wrong way. But in a healthy relationship, you can say, hey, you know, I know you've been on the phone the last couple of days. Can we, you know, spend some time together Friday? Like, we have to communicate. Narcissists don't communicate the right way. They'll be dismissive. They might say, yes, we can do it, but then something else is going to come up that they think is more important. Maybe a buddy needs, I don't know, $20. So he's got to go over to his friend's house to give $20 when it's supposed to be, you know, your time together. And then if you try to work around it, saying that you'll go with them and they don't want you to. But the future faking that you went through, you know, did it get out of hand with just the balance between the two of you? Was he listening to what you had to say, or were you putting too much onto him? You know, sometimes this one, you know, I don't know this person, but based on, there's a lot of red flags. There are a lot of red flags. I only know, you know, if from your perspective, the viewer's perspective, and I don't know. Also, the fact that he makes so much money, kudos to him. That was great. But a lot of times, you know, they're obsessed with their work. They do like being in positions of control or status. So that could possibly, not always, could possibly be something about it. And the fact that, you know, they're love bombing with this person, it can go on for a long time. It's not like a set amount of time. He does have the money though. People are more generous. I did a video where I started talking about Elvis, how Elvis, you know, would just give away his watch. I don't know if it was a Rolex, or I'm sure it was super expensive. Poor people, you know, if I made, I don't know, $10,000 a year, and my you know, almost homeless, and you want my watch, I might not give it to you. But people are very giving sometimes, because, you know, Elvis was, I'm doing research on him to see, you know, his narcissistic traits, and was he really a narcissist? Some people say he wasn't, some people say he was. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because there are so many lies. But the love bombing, with the new supply, he has more money to do it. He has more money to do it. So you might have gotten a dozen roses. She gets a whole garden. You know, it's just, you know, the money is available. So you might have gotten a bracelet, and she gets, you know, diamond necklace and tiara. So it's what's available to him to secure his supply. What is the new supplies status? Is she wealthy? Does she come from status? Is that what he latched onto? Is she in a circle of friends where he could use them to get his business further ahead? So either the trust issues were put on him too much and it wasn't fair to do that, or it was an easy excuse. It was my take is it was probably more of an easy excuse, because after he would reassure you, which I hope he did, that you shouldn't have trust issues, you know, I'll show up on time, or I'll call you, or, you know, you can come with me. Was he understanding you? Because especially if you express the situations you've been in, they can be empathetic towards you. You know, but if he was just dismissive on it and, you know, didn't try to understand, it's a balance. But based on everything that is in here, he is at least narcissistic. Is he where he has NPD? You need 5 out of 9 traits. You need to have it affect your life negatively, and you have to be diagnosed with it. So he's got some stuff going on to where, you know, did he help clean? Did he, ever get mad that you didn't know what he wanted for dinner and you made the wrong thing. So there's still more of the story that I don't know. But as far as being confused, a lot of us do our research because we want answers. We don't understand what happened. We're not getting it from our narcissist. If we did get some explanation, it's just like in this one, like, wait, what? Because I told you I had trust issues and you don't want to call me when you get somewhere, or, that you had a change of plans and you're just telling me. That's why we're throwing away our whole future. It doesn't make sense to us. So as we're researching, it's important to look at how they treated you. I know you want answers on why he left. Is it going to end with the new supply? Why is this new supply getting treated probably better? He has more money now. More status probably, and it's not because it's a better soul. Is he with a better soul, a kinder person? It's a different person with different supply. And you had a supply, he had a supply with you, the viewer, but he saw something that he didn't have to deal with any accountability. They don't like accountability on their time, on their actions. I don't know if you discussed being either lonely, upset, or wishing he would spend more time with you. So the communication would probably break down. If you did express it, did he try to accommodate what your needs were? And did you work around his needs as far as his time with his friends? A lot of times narcissists will isolate us. They'll monopolize our time sometimes, or get us to cancel plans so we stay home, and then they don't spend time with us. So they'll complain about certain friends, or they just take away our social network. So we're kind of dependent on them, which is what they knock us down into. And then we get lonely because, they're taking time just talking to their friends, and we're like, did we enter into this relationship to be lonely? So, I'm sure you're heartbroken over it. I can completely relate. It's not always a red flag when they date somebody younger, but, they say the relationships with larger age gaps, it definitely does start making a difference. Sometimes it's generational, where you guys don't understand certain things. I'll be 52 this summer. Comment below if you know what Zips the Big Z is, and Felix the cat. What was her name? Mrs. Beasley. So if I start talking about these things, you're like, what are you talking about? But if you're in the same generation, you understand certain things. And so that can be an issue, but sometimes it can be a red flag, or a omen or foreshadowing that it can be a relationship that's not going to make it, because, did they like you for you? Or was it for the ego stroke of being with somebody younger? Did they like you for you, or did they like it that you're naive? Did they like it for you, or did they like that your body might be in better shape because you're younger? Little things like that. Narcissists just care about their image. And this one seems maybe grandiose, because he is an achiever. I don't see this one as a vulnerable one. I see him more grandiose, but I don't have enough information on that. So maybe, viewer, you can let me know a little bit more about him. Was he like egotistical, or was he vulnerable? Was it the pity party all the time? And they can go between the two. They can overlap. So I know you're confused, as a viewer, we're talking to the viewer, but what matters is not that we know what the diagnosis is. What matters is how they treated us, how they discarded us. And, you know, don't ever think it's because of you. Looking back on the relationship, if that was the reason, um, you know, it sounds like you're a good person doing everything possible. And I don't know how well the communication was between you guys. It seems like it went through that discard phase where they weren't taking time to build. So it wasn't even just stagnant where you stayed at that good stage. You know, maybe you're not building every day, but you're interacting, you're on an even level. But the narcissist kept taking it down, you know, spending more time away from you, even if it's just on the phone. They're getting absorbed into themselves, and they're seeing that it takes effort, you know. So even if you did have trust issues, it takes effort to make somebody comfortable and to understand them. But we also have to understand we can't put too much pressure on the people we're with either if they never did that. We can ask for certain things, and if they agree to it, it's a tough balance. But I give you big hugs. It sounds like you've been through a lot. And if anybody else has some comments, or if you'd like a video made based on your situation, I would love to do that for you. And just keep healing, keep learning. And my take is they have a good possibility of being a narcissist. And I'm sorry for what you went through. So please like and subscribe. And if I can find my button, there we go. Got all these screens going. Take care. Hope that was helpful.